I guess I'm gonna start this by saying that we could have done so much better if we just continued certain momentum. But no. We screwed up very hard. So much that I probably will stop paying attention to this team. At least, as much, considering that tomorrow is the start for, actual Bears shenanigans, whatever. This team isn't going to make the playoffs. Like, if I look as of right now for the standings, they still somehow have a 3.1% chance to make the postseason. That's not happening. That I don't see a world in which that is, happening. Because it just isn't. It just isn't. And I don't really see a world in which that would happen. So there's that. As for this month, we'll get to the trades in a little bit, but at the start of the month, we faced the Phillies, and my wanted was to at least get one game off of the Phillies. So now we start out with a eight games under 500. They're actually seven. And we're currently six. So progress? I don't know. But we definitely were not progressing at the beginning as we lost the Phillies. So 6-4. Winsinky gets a loss. Some Mercado gets a W. We even tried in the final inning, but didn't really matter. And then lost again to the Phillies. One of the better teams out there, so it makes sense. But what I wanted was at least one victory, and they got that, a 10-2 victory somehow. Sure. I guess Hap can have six RBIs. I will miss you. I'm gonna miss you. Anyhow, now then we get to the Angels. Get at least 2 out of 3, and we start out right. We beat the Angels 5-1. Steely gets his first W of the year. Nice. So that's cool. We held the Angels to a total of 2 hits. Steely had to go 9 innings, but that's just how he gets wins these days. It's the only way that he's gonna get wins. Next day we get shut out by the Angels. The Angels, a team actually worse than us. Yeah, I know that's surprising to find these days. Oh yeah, but then we beat the Angels again. This time actually shutting them out when Tiki gets a W this time. Hodge, does some wonder work. So doing pretty good. Neris gets this a 0.1 inning save. Nice. But now we're on to death itself. The Orioles. My want was at least getting one game off the Orioles. And by God, did we get that? Because at the first game, 9-2. The offense is showing up, I guess. I don't know. They just sort of just existed, which is nice. And then we shut out the Orioles. Okay, that's something that no team had done like almost the entire season. Sure, yeah, that's reliable. Very, very, very reliable. Probably no. We won again. We swept them and held them scoreless for almost because their last score was the third inning of the first game, and they didn't score since. That's 24 in a row. What? And then the Cardinals next game. Yep, maybe one or two. Actually two tied the series because it's 4. We got half of it. We had a shutout all the way until the 9th inning, which they had to score one. God damn it! Hendricks gets a W, which is rare for him. Not doing that so hot. We'll get back to his wins later, but then we lose. After giving up 9 in the first inning, somehow Winsicki survived that, but he only got tied with 4 earned runs, despite giving up 11. Even though he was the one to commit not 1 but 2 errors, he doesn't need to get credit for the earned runs. I don't understand, honestly. How is that? How's your fair? I guess. Then we lose again to the Cardinals. They get their 50th win on the year. For us, Hodge gets a loss. Sorry, Hodge. Jesus, that guy has too many saves. But then we tie the series. Thank God. We at least tied the series against the Cardinals. They're roughly in second place. So, claw our way back into the top positioning, but now we got the Diamondbacks, and at this point we're feeling ourselves, so maybe we can get 2. Maybe. Doesn't look like it at the start. 5-2 loss, which our hit, Horner gets 3 hits, but it doesn't really produce anything at all. It's just a shame. Then we get shut out again against the Diamondbacks, the thorn in our side. They had 2 home runs in the same inning. Cal Hendricks strikes again, so that's 6.69 ERA. That's not great. But then our first extra innings game, in which we tried in the 9th and 10th inning, and that's all we really needed. Sure, okay, we got 1. Brewers. Now, in order to stay alive, we need at least 2 games off of them. And we started out correct. Smiley gets pitches Assad. I forget this game because it's kind of forgettable. But I watched Assad get into not 1 but 2 bases loaded situations, 6 walks. 6. That was a bullpen game, and we won that against the Brewers somehow. And then our offense does nothing, and we get shut out again. Italian gets a loss despite going 7 innings with 4 hits and only 1 run. Oof. Just oof. And then another 1-run loss. We lead the league in that to finish the series 3-2, and officially this season is not going great. And now we have to go to the Royals. The Royals. That normally wouldn't be that tough, but the Royals are 10 games above 500, at least at the end of the first result, as we get shut out again. This offense it's just not all there. And it's not even like, oh, it was a spread out. It was 6 runs in a single inning. Kyle Hendricks. George Lopez is still the GOAT, by the way. Just want to point that out. Jesus was there for a little bit. We almost had a Jesus and a Christian for a singular day. We'll get to that later, though. But then we win against the Royals. We beat Seth Lugo. Huh? That doesn't. Imanaga, of course, gets cheated out of victory, but that's standard fare at this point. Seth Lugo, he gave up 6. That's something that he hasn't really done a lot this season. So that was in of itself a success. So we got 1, and then we got 2 to win the series against the Royals. That was cool. We won the series against the Royals. That's certainly better than most certain other Chicago-based team has done. So there's that. 5 games. Now we got the Reds, a much easier. No. 7-1 loss. 7-1 loss. And one of the guys that makes his debut gets ejected. He really wanted to fight. Anyway, that's not the point, because then we lose again to the Reds. Give up 5 runs in the first 2 innings, and there's no hope at that point. Just lose. It's fine. Steely gets unlucky once again after his amazing 2023 season. 16-5. Steely is now at 2-5. And I honestly don't see that much of a drop off. He has a little more ERA, a little less whip, like less strikeouts, but he's getting saddled with a bad team. That's just what it is. Jorge Lopez is still a god. And then today's result, something that is much more positive than the previous one, a 13-4 victory over the Reds to finish the month 52-58. 10 games back of the wild. No, not the wild card. The NL Central. 6.5 games behind a wild card spot. At this point, this team is no hope. This team is, again, another underachieving Cubs squad that just needs to do better. However, considering what I have seen, they're possibly doing better by maybe trading, per se. So, I'm not entirely sure how far this goes. On the 10th, we signed this Trace Thompson dude to a contract. I don't think he has played a damn game, though. Yeah, minor league contract. Canario keeps getting called up. Luke, like every single one of our pitchers gets injured. Talkman is in the minors for rehabilitation. We traded for Jesus. We traded for Jesus Tinoco. I don't care what that's. It's probably Jesus. I don't. Whatever. Trade him for cash. Trade him for cash on July 17th. Call him up on the 19th. Get kicked off the 40-man after doing 4 scoreless innings in relief. And then he gets claimed by the Marlins. And he's actually doing well for them. Yeah, that was a waste of money, but who cares? It was cash considerations anyway. So now, Wicks still injured. more rehabilitation when Sinky gets injured. Hunter Biggie gets called up, which that'll be important later. Merriweather comes back. Luke Little gets injured. Our backup catcher gets injured, so we have to go buy a Christian. Oh, the day before, Gilberto Siciano. Purchase him from the Pirates for something. I don't know. Who we got for that. Cash considerations. There we go. We still had to get a catcher, so it's Christian, all right. And then, not a big trade. Nate Pearson. We trade 2 AA players for a guy with a 5.66 ERA. And I'm not going to say it's a really terrible trade, but it's still guys that you could actually use, but whatever. Then the next day we have a big trade. We finally trade Christopher Morel. So where were we? Oh yeah, Isaiah Paredes from the Tampa Bay Rays. We trade Christopher Morel, Hunter Biggie, and some other prospect for reasons. I mean, he has a bunch of team control, which is nice. That's cool. They did say trade for the future, so that's currently what he's doing. But then, yeah, I'm pretty sure we had traded something else, but I'm not sure. I probably could look it up right now. Oh yeah, we traded Mark Leader Jr. for a AA shortstop who's currently on injured reserve, done for the season, and a AAA reliever who's really tall. I think he will be good for the future. Probably could get a call this year if we're really going to throw in the towel. Yeah, Mark Leader Jr., he's done. Morel, he's done. Yeah. At least we aren't the White Sox. That's the only thing I can say that is good. No, we are not the White Sox. So, woo. Anyway, that's all I have for now. My hope for the next month is showing progress on the new acquisitions and also beat the teams that were expected to be competitive, and pray that they can do something. But at this point, just I call the season at this point. I wish this team would do better than what they're supposed to be, but they just aren't. They aren't putting enough effort into what they should be doing. And that's what's costing them. I'm just so over it at this point. I don't even want to think about why. I just want them to get back to their senses. Craig Counsell may have been a dumb decision. May have not. We don't know. It's his first year. And just, it's not all there. And if there's anything, it's whatever. Anyway, So for tonight, I might be here tomorrow for the game, but I might not at the same time. I did set it up here though. New recording software is able to do both, which is Pog. So, yeah. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.